Hello and welcome to Steamforged Games. I'm your host Alex, not Jamie. He's a designer now. He's not. I am joined by the wonderful pair from Mythic Games, Az and Ben. They are here to play some Godtear version 0.8. Hot off the press.
Privileged.
Maybe. Hopefully. So we've made some changes in 0.8 to kind of streamline things. We've altered the cards slightly. So Ben and Az kind of saw this and they're like, yeah, we know exactly what we're doing. No, they probably don't know exactly what they're doing. But we'll find out. I understand that there is a, who's on 2, who's on 1?
Ben's currently 2-1. We've played with, so I played with Rodri and Lorsane. We've played the same teams, 3 games. I'm currently 2-1 down. Yeah.
So let's see how the changes are. So I know Ben had a plan. He has something he does every turn 1, and it doesn't work anymore.
Nope, you've changed the rules, and the thing I was going to do, I found out just before we started recording, doesn't work anymore.
We ruled for me to go first. We went ahead and deployed, so you can think about what you want to do while I flail over here for a moment.
So you're going first.
Yep.
So I shall pop this here. So the turn 1 token is now on your side of the ladder. The ball is in your court, Az.
And we're starting the plot phase.
So yes, there has been some few name changes just to kind of make things a bit easier, including some spellings of some of the characters. And you notice Lorsane's name is changed in spelling, but it's still pronounced.
I thought you'd done that just for me, because now I know how to actually say it.
So yes, the first phase, previously the strategy phase, is the plot phase, and the second phase is the clash phase. Okay. So I no longer have to remind myself that it's alphabetical order as to the order. We've changed them so it's a bit easier to remember, as well as redesign the cards. And I'm very happy with the new cards.
They look awesome.
So I am here basically to be judge, jury and executioner on anything that I think you got wrong while you were doing it, and then I look stupid because I got it wrong. Because there is this real big misunderstanding that developers know all the rules.
No.
But we've seen 400 versions of them outside of the one you saw.
It's a proper industry knowledge that this is something we have to share with everybody watching at home, is we always get something wrong on purpose so you guys can comment about it. And it's absolutely a decision we make. Okay, so in the plot phase, I activate with all of my stuff before then Ben returns. Okay,
correct.
Rodri is going to start by giving hold. So it's a friendly target within 3 hexes. I can give essentially +1 protection to. Yes. So that's going to go to Lorsane.
So I guess I can point out as we go, as they come up. Protection is previously armor and resistance. We have removed resistance. There is only one type of armor in the game. It's called protection. Which means the boons and blights have changed slightly. There's 5 of each now. So you've got increased dodge, increased protection, increased damage, because we don't have damage types anymore, so it's just increased the amount of dice you roll, increased speed, and increased accuracy. I know how many people wanted that one.
Yes, I was waiting for that one.
The increased accuracy is there, but there are 5 because we are not using the dice anymore. It's likely that the dice, at least currently, the dice is not being used. If we bring the dice back, I imagine that 6th face will be if you roll that on any random generation, then it would be a pick what you like.
So Sheol might come in and...
In this version of the rules, I believe Sheol has basically a roll a number of dice and put that number of boons you choose on a model to try and remove it. It's at a point where boons aren't always useful on a model, so having them entirely random doesn't feel great. So we're kind of playing around with the ways of keeping some sort of random nature to it, but controllable.
Absolutely makes sense.
I'll stop nattering.
No, absolutely. So I continued. Did the second action then for Rodri's activation was basically just to move him 1 space forward.
Just so fast.
Household Guard also have a movement of 1, so they'll begin by their activation by using their first action to advance 1 movement.
So delicate with those 3D prints.
I gotta
it's a joy to behold.
They are, as we are very familiar with Mythic games with 3D prints, especially with Joan of Arc and small minis. We know how valuable these are to you guys, so I'll do my best. And with those guys, I'm going to actually use their March ability. So this is a skill which is going to let them move a hex. So definitely advancing.
Because it targets self, they will all get to go up. So with the skills change, where it is that when you are making a skill that makes an attack or something along those lines, you choose the hex that goes and they go. But when it targets self, it means the whole unit gets to do it, so they do all get to move.
That's a really nice clarification. That's really good. So I'll flip those guys over so their cards are both being done. These should be the other way. There we go. So Lorsane has a movement of 3 in this field. So she's going to go 1, 2, and I will be bold with her.
So brave.
I will be brave. She has a lot of dodge, which means...
How much dodge does she have?
She's rocking 5 dodge.
So a big change with 0.8 is really stretching that range. You know, nearly all the stats up to this point have been between 0 and 3. we're stretching that out big time now.
I feel like 5 dodge is absolutely amazing, but I'm worried that your numbers have probably increased as well.
There's some accuracy 5s and 6s in there.
Okay. She's then going to use Field Instruction, which is a friendly skill to target anything within 3 hexes to give a strengthen, so +1 damage.
Yep.
I'm not sure if she should take that on herself. Yeah, she's going to take that on herself, actually. So I'll pop that with her too.
So, and again, to clarify, we're still using the dice because we have the stickers to show the symbols, but in the Kickstarter, as you've shown, it's going to be tokens, and I believe they're double-sided tokens. It will show the boon on one side and the blight on the other.
Perfect sense, absolutely. Elven Rangers then, they also have a movement of 3 in the plot phase. I'm just quickly checking. So they have 2 skills. I could Blur to give them Evade, or I could Fairy Fire, but there's nothing close enough to target that on. So they'll go ahead and give themselves +1 dodge with Fairy Fire, and then 3. So we'll just simply move 1, 2. Yeah, we'll go with the full 3.
So I'm going to ask this question while you're doing that, out of curiosity. Because it's something I do as well, and something I've noticed when I've been playing games.
Oh, I kind of think they should be over there.
Why do you always go champion then follower unit?
Oh, interesting.
Why do you never go follow your champion? And why do you not go, okay, Rodri's going to go do this, then the archers are going to go, then they're going to go, then she's going to go. I've noticed that it's like there's this kind of psychological link that it should be champion, then their followers, but that is not a rule.
The Rodri one was very interesting here because his buff can be cast on other people, which makes his incredibly valuable, whereas their buff is only on themselves. And I've found the dwarves to be really hardy, like really hard to take down, to the point where Ben and I have played 3 games, and each time we've played, you've attacked the dwarves less and less and less because there's less value to fighting them. So them using their skill to move up surely made sense. So actually, I think I had it in my head that they were going to go in front, so I better get Rodri going first and then them around. And then, I don't know, I think it might just be a subconscious thing.
Because I do it too, where I'm like, okay, this champion's going to go, then his unit's going to go. And then I kind of find myself sitting there going, but that could have been so much better if I did that way. And I can do that. Why didn't...
And what I'm finding about Godtear, what I love about it so much is that the hex board, because it evolves, particularly in this scenario, and the growth effect comes in, your banners, your own units, and the objective hexes are going to really start to fill out the board. So you need to think about placement so much. I'm going to think about that on my next turn. Okay, that's just my plot.
Over to me.
Over to you for your plot phase.
Well, I'm going to start.
I mean, you knew exactly what you were doing, right?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I had a plan. I was going to place a banner on the first turn, and that's not happening anymore. So I'm going to activate the whirlpools. So they now have movement 0.
They do have movement 0.
So they're moving 3, but instead they have current, which lets them be placed up to 3 hexes away.
And the explanation for that is followers do not have class traits anymore. Basically, we found across a lot of testing that they just didn't come up enough. It was something that you kind of had to keep checking back for, and it seemed very hard to check for it. And there are a few of those traits where we think it was very flavourful and good on the models that had them, so we kept them on. Yeah,
the elves have kept their +1 damage against wounded targets.
And these have essentially kept theirs because the place effect means they never move over an objective effect, so you can just pop them on the other side of them.
But it's very emotive of how you think they would move about the battlefields, blushing around and kind of...
Okay. So I'm going to use Tide, and this is the change which has messed my turn up. So the range is increased from 2 to 3, but now you have to move towards the whirlpool, which is tiding you. So I'm going to Tide Blackjaw to there.
Seems good.
And that is their turn. So I will now activate Blackjaw. He use Hotfoot to give Quiggin to the Orc Savages.
Okay. Ben's being sly.
And then he moves 3. Well, let's hope I have a plan. So he moves to there. They then move 4.
Oh man, those orcs are scary.
So fast.
Yeah, you realise just how important it is to learn the units you're up against, even more than learning yours. Like I've learned very quickly with them, never never enter the clash phase standing beside one of them, because then getting 2 attacks off on you is just game ending bad at times.
I'm so impressed you got that right first try with the clash. So nailed it. I've got a funny... I'll apologise in advance if I keep saying strategy and tactics.
Well, you've been doing it for months, and we've been lucky. We've just had to deal with it for a short time.
Okay, and then Wraith Mareed, he will Kersploosh.
That's a legitimate skill.
No, by the way. that is actually the skill name. Whenever we were playing at the start of this, I said to Ben, every time you activate that skill, I'm going to lose it because it's the best. Please don't change that. Please keep Kersploosh.
I like is it onomatopoeia? Is that what that one is?
It is, yes, onomatopoeia. So he can take off a whirlpool within 4.
Say that noise.
Kasploosh. He moves where it was.
So that was previously called Slipstream. For anyone wondering if Slipstream's gone, it's just been renamed to something more awesome.
And he will give himself, because the whirlpools come off, he gets a boon.
He does.
I'm going to give him the accuracy boon, which I believe is the one we don't have a...
That is the one we don't. So use, I guess, either of the 2 faces that you don't need on there.
So the magical or the coil.
The hood or the...
Yeah.
I'll take the magical one, so that can be the accuracy one.
And that trigger, the giving the boon for Wraith there, I'm very trying to call him Wraith Madrid and not Real Madrid, by the way. It's when the whirlpools go off the board at all. So even if I knock one out or take one out of play, he gets a boon. Oh, it's so good. I love that.
And then when the whirlpools activate, they choose one of the boons he has and they get it.
So lovely.
So if you keep them together, then they can kind of just chain.
It gives a great balance between which one you activate first. It's tricky because as Ben and I have talked about doing the whirlpools first, it's so good for getting Wraith up the board, but then you're missing the chance for the boon.
I'll finish with Jet, and I will move this. So it must target a whirlpool elemental. Move it up to 1, 2, 3 hexes.
Oh man!
Really forcing
Just
the question
all
around
over
that.
all over the board right now.
So is that your
plot
plot done?
My plot done.
Okay.
Over to your tactics.
So I'm now picking a single champion or a single follower, and now I've got it stuck in my head that I shouldn't activate a champion, but I might in a way. Because now you've said it, I'm like...
No, you see, it doesn't. Obviously, it doesn't come up in this phase so much because it is alternate.
Yep.
So it's it's kind of who's the best for the situation. But it's something I noticed in the plot phase is so often you just kind of get into this habit of this follower, then its unit, but it's you can do them in any order you like.
Okay, so the Household Guard are going to start for me. They're going to move into 2 in this phase, so we're going to go simply 1, 2. 1, 2 here. These guys maybe should have actually moved Lurcy in first, but we're going to just go ahead and commit to it. I'll do 1, 2 to here.
The first plan's always the best plan. That's
1, 2 to here.
how everything works, apart from game development. Because this is 0.8, so that completely destroys everything I just said. But
well, you had a plan. It's just you have to keep developing the plan.
Yes.
You have to, it's still the same plan. They're going to go ahead then and use their march skill, so they can all essentially move a hex again.
Yeah.
So these guys will spread out like this.
That is like a big part of it. Is this update is kind of a culmination of this bit's confusing, this bit's confusing, this, and it's just that culmination of just going through. And I know we discussed it earlier off camera. Is there kind of, does this need cleaning up? Does this need cutting? Is it fine as it is, but something else is interacting with it to make it confusing? And that's what a lot of this update is just kind of simplification while losing nothing from gameplay. It just makes it more accessible.
Bringing armor and magical resistance into protection absolutely makes sense to me. It doesn't take anything away from the game. It flows just as nice as it did before and still makes all the same kind of sense. It's lovely. Well, that's their activation all done, sir.
Okay, so I will take the whirlpools first up again.
Okay.
And they will also current first again, do it.
Wow.
Reposition.
Would you like a reason to go with your current?
Oh, no, thank you.
Wow.
And then this one will tide Blackjaw to there, and that is then done.
Oh, look at them pulling Blackjaw
I like
closer to the combat.
Blackjaw, I'm in a shower.
Isn't he just, he's loving it, he's loving life. Well, he's giving hot foot to the orcs, like he's dishing hot and cold. It's amazing. Okay.
Blackjaw, the secret elemental champion, apparently. Super secret elemental champion.
Oh, man. I kind of feel like Blackjaw doesn't have any buffs, does he?
No.
Any boons, sorry, no boons.
No boons at all.
Oh, there's an opening, so I think I might have to just jump in and go for it here. So Lorcian's going to activate. She's going to stay exactly where she is. She's going to go for a snipe, so that's range 3 hexes. It's a 7, a whopping 7. So much that our dice are different now because we needed to get more dice. 7 accuracy. What's his dodge?
3.
3 dodge? Come on, math.
It's almost like there's some maths into these numbers,
Oh
right?
my word. Okay, so got my 3.
So it does hit.
With a snipe, that's 3 damage against how much armor?
3.
Ooh. Oh man, this was not as sure as I thought it was going to be. Nope, not even remotely. Dang.
Did she have a strengthen on that?
She did.
So you would have had an additional dice.
Okay, so you can get a 2 and
come
get
on,
still
2.
no damage.
So you're still going to do nothing.
No, still do nothing, yeah, of course.
But your strengthen does go away.
It does.
Yeah.
For her second action then, do you know what? I'm just going to... Have I committed or should I change my plan with her? Let's actually take a pop shot at this guy.
Okay.
I'm going to take... I think if I can limit some of your whirlpools a little, although you're going to get boons, it'll hopefully benefit me. So she's got a piercing shot, which is range 3, accuracy 5. Dodge of them?
Is 4.
Okay. Yeah, this should be all right. Nope. That's the fat 3. Oh, man, Lorsian.
It's not gone well.
That's not been a great first turn. All right, I knew it wasn't guaranteed, so I will pass it back to you, sir.
Okay. So
I like the plan of the whirlpool because Wraith's so over here. He's so limited on what he can do once that whirlpool's down. You a sad panda now.
Well, the hope was, well, Ben, something I think was if I could land a wound on, we could have used a shoot and scoot from Lorsian, which would have given me the option to, well, I was about to say put a banner around, but of course that's not possible anymore.
No,
as of 0.8.
So I will activate Blackjaw.
Yeah.
He will take his movement of 2.
Oh boy.
No.
And he will try and hit some elves.
Okay, so they're base of a 4 dodge, but they do have evade, which should put them at a 5 dodge.
Okay. Wow. That's different.
That's a lot of dodge.
So you could, I mean, kick seems like a good one to try and get the first one dead, and I believe if I remember his trait correctly, once one's dead, he gets another action, and then this will be gone, and then you can have a go at one of your less accurate ones.
He also seems to have is that now a range of 2?
Yes.
I did not realise it was a range 2.
That may be. Yes, it is range of 2.
If
I remember correctly, it's supposed to be range 1, but it says 2 on the card.
It does. It has been range 1 in the past. Otherwise, I would not have moved quite so far up if I know it was range 2, but let's kick you. So
let's not, please.
Let's kick. So kick is 6 dice.
Oh! 5 dodge with the boon. Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
It's got him.
So
it's a 5, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, it's 5.
Yep.
I think it was 6. Yes. That's a hit.
Yeah.
And then it is 5 dice.
Against
5 damage.
1 protection. Nope.
Yeah.
That's a very
that's a very kicked elf.
So as he is a Maelstrom champion.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Okay.
Oh no!
And then
so you get another action, correct? Because you ended the life of a follower model.
So
this is bad.
Fiery axe.
Okay.
So this one is 4 dice.
And we're down to 4 dodge now because the boon's gone.
That is not.
That is a big whiff.
I'll take what I can get.
So that is him done. So turn him back over.
Okay. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I think Rodri is about to go for a shower. I kind of
just going to go jump in some water.
Yeah, I kind of feel that might be what happens. So I'm trying to think what can take out this whirlpool for me. It's either Rodri or it's the elves, because that's who I've got left. Rodri does have the potential of a 4 accuracy sword slash, or the elves a 3 accuracy fire. So it's him that's really got to give it a whirl. I think
they can give themselves aim. So if
which
you're
would be
in
an extra.
range, which will give you an extra 1 accuracy.
Oh well, that's just throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. Okay, do you know what? Yeah, I appreciate that little insight. I will activate the Elven Rangers and we'll have... Well, if I'm going to concentrate and fire, I basically have to leave them where they are.
Oh, that you do.
That's brutal. Yep, I'll do it.
But bear in mind, with the way that skills work now, when you're going to make the attack, you only get to attack with one of them. So if the one over there is in range... You're not really losing too much.
So essentially, because I can't get them, I haven't got enough movement to get them both together, so I'll simply declare that the first action is to aim, gain and concentrate, which is 1 accuracy, the new way of looking at it, and then I'll do fire, so it would normally be 1 guy against 1 whirlpool from here to here.
Yep.
It would usually be 3 dice, but I'll add a 4th dice in looking for 4 dodge.
It is 4 dodge, yes.
Come on, dice. Nope. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nimble whirlpool.
Okay, over to you, sir.
Over to me. So I have Orcs and Wraith Marine left.
Oh, no.
So let's take some Orcs.
I love how petrified you are of that whirlpool.
I am, I'm terrified of it. It being in the middle of you, knowing the Wraith Marine's ultimate can just come in is really... I also leaving followers beside Blackjaw was a big mistake. That's not gone well.
I love the hit and run with Wraithmarid where you ultimate and then you would use the now named Kasploosh to get out. So it's literally come in, move everything, go away again.
Oh. It's visually very appealing how that looks as he jumps in.
What are these orcs doing?
They're going to try, well, as they try and hit some dwarfs. Hitting dwarfs is not the problem.
Removing them is the problem.
So these ones here will take a pop at that.
Yeah.
There. So they have got a cleaving strike with all of them in there. There's 4 dice.
Right, dodge of 1. Good luck. This will be hard. Yep.
It hits. Okay. What a shock.
You got a protection of 3.
I've got 5 dice.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
That is not.
Oof! The whip! Oh, that's
grim.
Done. That's grim.
See, I'm weirdly excited that these are all whiffing because when it gets real next turn, it's such a target-rich environment.
So Rodri's my last left to activate. He's got 2 movement and could potentially move himself 1. It's not going to get himself anywhere interesting, I don't think. So he'll just go ahead and move. Shield Bash doesn't do any damage, it just moves targets, right?
Yes.
So I can't do it. I have to
But you could move him out of range of where he's useful for Wraith.
He does come back so easily, though. No, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for a swords. Swords and attacking water is probably not a wise move. I'm not going to win any strategy awards for this one.
Rust your sword up.
So 4 accuracy, 4 dodge. That's a 1.
Whiff.
You will never get there.
No. This has been a very unproductive turn. Okay, that's me all activated.
So the last one for me is Wraith Reed. He will move to that. And then he will slash and dash, which is range 2 on that dwarf there.
Join slash and dash range 1 petition.com. I'm trying very hard to get slash and dash down to range 1. It makes my inner child sad.
What's his other one called? Because that's range 1, right?
Headbutt.
Yeah, we can swap them around, don't worry. We'll give you your range 1 slash and dash, we'll just make headbutt range 2.
Oh, that's very thematic.
Okay, so it's normally accuracy 6.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to hit this.
Accuracy 7 with
No, you need 1 on 7 dice. You might not get it. It's mathematically probable. Possible. No, I think you got it.
Okay, it's good.
Okay. But it is only 3 on the damage.
So you've got a hit effect that you've resolved now. So what is the hit effect?
It is to move him up to 2 hexes.
Oh. Hello.
And you get your 3 damage.
That is 3, which is not enough, I believe.
The armor on the dwarves is 3.
Yeah, okay. No dead dwarf.
Good job, dwarves.
Is that the end of the turn?
That is indeed.
So it is just on your side, Ben.
Okay.
Blackjaw has got you that one. That comes over to you. You are on 1 victory point.
So it'll take Rodri just in a straight line all the way back.
Welcome back to the start of turn 1.
Welcome to deployment.
And let's do the exact same.
That is legitimately disheartening at a level I can't even explain.